I'm Amaya Whisper, a variety VTuber and expertly unhinged yapper that sings, voice acts, does ASMR, and today I'll be reacting to the new Alien Stage video. FYI, I have not seen any of this. I haven't even seen the teaser that came out a while ago. I'm not super up to date on the Patreon content. I am subscribed, but I haven't gone around to reading it yet. But I did read the recent comics, so I might be referencing those. And if you guys haven't read them yet, they are good supplementary material and they make a lot of sense for the content in Alien Stage. There's a lot of things that you'll see in the videos and then you'll see elaborated on more in the comics or like referenced, and a lot of them are free on the official Alien Stage Twitter and people translate them. So if you don't speak Korean or read Korean, totally okay. Lots of people translate them and you can see them there in the quote retweets. But anyways, completely blind reaction. I have managed to stay spoiler free on social media, so let's get into it.
위선 떨지 마.
Are there captions?
구원받을 자격 없어.
Oh shoot, hold on. My bad.
위선 떨지 마. 너나 구원받을 자격 없어. 그대와 함께 있나 멀리 지하의 별로 우리.
Real quick, I am going to be pausing and commentating throughout. I'm not going to give like a super in-depth analysis, but just a reference in the recent comic for I think it was like I think My Frail God or something, but it's a recent Mizy comic and you can see a lot of Mizy's guilt. Obviously these are spoilers for it. It came up beforehand, but yeah. Basically in the comic, Mizy talks about how she feels like she can crush others, and there's art of like Mizy and her own perception. She's a very unreliable narrator. The way that she sees herself versus the way she actually is very different. And in the comic itself, you see that she is treated very much as like a toy by Shine. She willingly goes into Alien Stage. She literally sees Alien Stage on the TV that is like gotten for her, and she decides, yeah, I want to do this. And there's like a lot of instances of like Mizy's inferiority complex, as well as like her own guilt, because she wants to make herself out into this villain, at least in my opinion, because she can feel like a sense of control. She was constantly treated as a plaything. People will say, oh yeah, Mizy got treated better by Shine. She didn't really. It's all like you know, your warden is still your warden, you know, and I think a lot of people don't realize that just because her treatment was a little different. In a way, hers was more dehumanizing in some sense. She was very much like a pet. Like there's literally a panel of her hair being tugged on, and then her Sagan's like, oh yeah, I think I might have pulled too hard. Oops. And she's bleeding. Like, I'm not surprised that Mizy chose Alien Stage. When you're faced with two evils, like you're gonna pick the one where you feel like you have some semblance of control, where you can actually affect the outcome. That's why in a lot of situations, which mind you, Alien Stage, all of Alien Stage is about like love and abuse and the different forms of love, and amongst other things, right? But a lot of people who are in like have faced tumultuous relationships or a lot of trauma, right? They tend to blame a lot. They blame themselves a lot, because if they blame themselves, they can feel as though they had some sort of outcome, like control of the outcome. And Luca is a very sad character. There's no character I hate in Alien Stage. Everyone's very human and flawed. And a lot of this is about like humanity, you know? So if you struggle to, I guess, empathize a little bit more with the characters, just try to remember what they're going through, because I don't think any of us would survive this.
멀리 지하의 별로 우리 영원 어쩜 그 너머까지 당신과 나 또 우리 그대와 함께 있나 비로소 지하의 별로 우리 영원 어쩌면 그 너머까지 당신과 나 또 우리 어스름 내려와 우릴 감싸 안으며 당신과 내 심장 흐드러지게 웃지 바람을 타고서 영원히 영원한 곳으로 그대와 함께 라면 이 사랑 현아 언니
I'm still so angry that she got shot. But like, as I said, these are all different forms of love, and you can see the dynamics in which they play out here. Actually, one thing that like is kind of not touched on a lot, but there's a comic where Mizy is kind of disgusted when this is in an act garden where she's younger, and one of the boys like comes up to her and he basically kind of like pushes the relationship between a man and a woman on her, and she's like, oh, that's kind of creepy or kind of disgusting, and she has dead eyes. And people don't really mention this a ton. I do see it sometimes, but like people mention how safe Mizy feels with Ivan, and I actually really adore their friendship because it's very platonic, it's very comfortable. She doesn't have those expectations, because even though Alien Stage is very like in an act garden, you don't have the same necessarily perceptions that you would in like normal society, you know, or I guess like what we see typically commonly today in the world that we live in, right? But you still see like those like aspects pushed and pushed, you know. Yeah, that was my point.
현아 언니 고백할 게 있어요. 그 애는 매일 밤 남몰래 죽음을 연습하고 있었어요. 사실 알면서 모른 척했어요. 아마도 전 그 애한테 그렇게까지 절박하지 않았나 봐요. 언니의 사랑과는 다르다는 거 알아요. 하지만 이것 또한 사랑이었어요. 그 누가 뭐라 할 수 있겠어요?
Oh my god.
언니도 그 애의 표정을 봤다면 날 질책할 수 없을걸요?
It's so fucking sad. They both knew. She like even here, you literally see Sua practicing. She's giving Mizy more lines so that she'll win.
사실
Like, of course, Mizy feels guilty, but like, she's only human, you know? Like, how can anyone say what decision they would make in this position? Because I feel like Mizy she was a lot colder when she was younger, and like still part of her is a lot like less attached. You know, she's not a cold person, but she's a lot less like attached. And I think she never really was able to like process this, obviously, in this environment. She was never able to process this and come to terms with her own humanity, you know. And this is why there's like the art of Mizy standing on top of like everyone's bodies, and she has like a devilish like smile. That's how she perceives herself, because she feels this way. She feels like, I mean, in some way, technically, she did kind of kill Sua, but that's not like what she wanted. It feels like it was like a very kind of like immature decision, but this is just like the reality that they live in.
그 애한테 그렇게까지 절박하지 않았나 봐요.
Like, you see this distance, but this is her perception too.
하지만 이것 또한 사랑이었어요. 그 누가 뭐라 할 수 있겠어요? 언니도 그 애의 표정을 봤다면 날 질책할 수 없을걸요?
I feel like part of it too is Mizy doesn't give herself enough credit, like, for her own humanity. It's like she sees herself almost as like an outsider in some respect, or almost like observer sometimes. And I feel like more of the reason that this happened than she would like to admit is that she didn't want to leave Sua the way she was feeling, in a way that's like her own selflessness. Not to say that part of it wasn't selfishness, you know, but it's a very complex and contradictory kind of situation.
애초에 당신은 도망치고 있는 것뿐이야. 단 한순간도 자신의 진짜 감정을 직면하지 않았지. 적당한 대의나 정의 같은 것에 매달리면 뭔가 해결되는 것 같았나요? 돌아온 게 그 개죽음이고 자유가 주어진다 한들 우린 똑같이 외로웠을 거예요. 인간 그 자체가 이 모든 괴로움의 주범이니까. 사랑하면서도 자취하지 않고선 살아갈 수 없는 존재들이니까.
I haven't cried since Cure. No. Is he breathing? Oh my god, wait! Oh my god! Is Yuri alive? Okay, I wasn't delusional! If I'm wrong, I'm gonna be so sad. No, I'll just be delusional again. I'll say Tilla's alive.
인간에겐 그리고 이 짐승들에겐 어린 것의 순수함은 사치였다. 끝나지 않는 고통 속에서 사랑하고 사랑하며 언젠가 올날의 희망을 품는 것은 살고자 하는 본능인가? 이타심인가? 그 중심에 있던 여자, 지금은 마녀라 불리는 그 여자는 늘 사랑을 찾곤 했다.
I feel like this is this line here hits really hard because this is like a mix of, I guess, objectivity versus like Mizy's perception of herself. And I feel like part of it, she wanted to make this perception of herself that she was like some villain validated in sense and almost make it real. I'm not too sure who these people are. I'm not sure if they're like other like people in Alien Stage or in an Act Garden that are newer, or if this was Isaac's experience before. I think we saw some of like Isaac's experience before, but I don't recognize any of them. I don't think this is it. I could be mistaken. There's still a lot I don't know about Alien Stage that I have to catch up on.
그 중심에 있던 여자, 지금은 마녀라 불리는 그 여자는 늘 사랑을 찾곤 했다. 그 사랑을 탓할 수 있을까? 이 원자의 굴레는 어디서부터 왔으며 도무지
Till?
없는 시련을 사람들이
Oh my god! I'm pretty sure that's Till. Can he not speak anymore because of that? Oh, I guess they're newer and Act Garden kids. Oh my god, he looks so much like his. He lived! Everyone told me I was delusional! I knew it! I knew it! And that's not just because I would have said that he lived anyway. It is. I still look at the post talking about how, like, Ivan was hit in these spots and therefore he can still be alive. Guys, maybe he'll come back later. Maybe he'll come back later. Wow, there's a lot to dissect here. I did not expect it to be this long, actually.
고백할 게 있어.
And the quality too. They've really been upping the production of Alien Stage. I hope that they're taking it easy, because this is a ton. Like, look at all the stunning like illustrations here. So many frames in this too. I don't even know what to say. This is so bittersweet. I feel like a lot of this is. It's interesting to see more of Mizy's perspective, because even though she was here like so early, you know, for like my Clematis, like I feel like we didn't really get to know her much until recently. And I think that Mizy is probably one of the most complex and one of the most unstable characters, along with maybe Luca. And it's really, give my girl a break, please. You're not like a bad person, you're just human. I don't know, what did you guys think of this? Let me know your thoughts below. I'm gonna go cry again.